Hello my dear students, welcome to my class once again. Today here I am in front of you with new topics. In today's class I am going to discuss three things. First is preposition, secondly we will discuss about word order, that is known as jumbled words, and then we will discuss about amplification. So first we are going to start with preposition. It's a very long topic and it's very important also. We have to be very careful about prepositions to get the accurate meaning, appropriate meaning of the sentences, appropriate meaning of the words. If we use wrong preposition, the meaning of the sentence may change totally. So that's why in this lesson I urge all my listeners to be very careful and to listen to me very carefully. Though I'll try my level best to discuss everything, whatever is there in the syllabus of class 9 and 10, then also I am sure that it will not be over. It depends upon you. On the basis of my discussion and on the basis of our practices, you have to try it again and again, then only it will be helpful for you. So first of all we must know what is preposition. We know that preposition is one of the part of speeches. We know 8 parts of speeches are there. Out of these 8, one is what? Preposition. So what is preposition? Preposition is a word that is used before a noun or a pronoun to create relation among the other words of the sentence. Once again, preposition is a word that is used before a noun or pronoun to create relation among the other words of the sentence. Sometimes we may find that preposition followed by verbs are also there. So basically they are used before nouns and pronouns. So here from the definition we understood one thing, that only because of the preposition the relation among the words of the sentences will be clear. Without using preposition we will not get the appropriate meaning of the sentence, we will not get the complete meaning of the sentence. Just for example, I am showing you one sentence. The book is the table. Here we have to put something. If we do not put this particular word, then the relation between the words will not be clear and will not get a perfect meaning also. So here we have to use a word to create relations among the words of the sentences and to get a clear meaning and to get a perfect meaning. So here it will be on. The book is on the table. So I hope you have understood what preposition is. Now I am going to start. I want all my listeners, all my students to note down the things what I will say, because these are going to be very important for you. You have to keep this one forever until you feel sure enough that you can. You have to keep this one in your copy and you have to go through them again and again. First of all, I am going to start from a very simple thing, very simple prepositions. Those are individual. That means they come individually and they will be used in different meanings, in different ways. and some are fixed prepositions. Later we will discuss about the fixed prepositions. Now we are going to discuss about the preposition. Those will be used in various places. First, let's start with at. At is a preposition. We simply know that at is used before a small area and in is used before a big area. Yes, it is right. Today once again one more thing I am going to add with that. At will be used before a fixed area and in will be used before a bigger area, not a fixed one. For example, Guwahati. Guwahati is a big city. So for Guwahati we can use in Guwahati, and in Guwahati so many places are there. So if we are discussing about Chandmari, so we can say at Chandmari. If we are discussing about Ganesh Gudi, we can say at Ganesh Gudi. If we are discussing about Beltola, we can say at Beltola. So if we are discussing about a particular place, before that we have to use at, and if we are discussing about a spread or bigger area, then we have to use what? In. Before a small area also we have to use at, and before a particular area also we have to use at, and before a big area we have to use in, and before a spreaded area also we have to use what? In. Before night we have to use what? At. At night. At night. Before night we have to use what? At. Before dawn, D-A-W-N. Before dawn we have to use what? At. D-A-W-N. Dawn, I hope you know the meaning. Dawn is the very early in the morning. This is what? Dawn. So before night, at. Before dawn, at. Before dusk. Dusk, that means the end part, the break of day, when the day will be converted into night. This time is known as what? Dusk. Before dusk also you have to use what? At. Before fixed hours of time. Before fixed hours of time you have to use what? At. So what I said, before small area, at. Before a particular area, at. Before night, at. Before dawn, at. Before dusk, at. And before particular hours of time we have to use what? At. Let's use them in examples. It will be better if we get examples. I live at my home. Small area, a small place. I live at what to say? I live at Ganesh Gudi. At. Before particular area of out of a big area, then he will stay here at night. Before night, at. He came back at dawn. I shall leave the place at dusk. Before dusk. He called me at 9 o'clock. Before fixed hours of time. These are the places we have to use what? At. So before a small area or before a small place, at before a particular area, at before night, at before dawn, at before dusk, at and before fixed hours of time, at. Next is in. Before big area or big place, in. Before a spreaded area, in. Before morning, in. Before evening, in. Before afternoon, in. There we have the option we can use at or in. Before afternoon we can use at or in. Then before month, in. Before year, in. Before week, in. Before fortnight, in. And if we want to say something is inside of any other thing, then also we have to use in. So many things what I said. Before big place, in. Before a spreaded area, in. Before morning, in. Before evening, in. Before afternoon, in. There we can use at also. Before month, in. Before year, in. Before week, in. Before fortnight, in. And if we want to say something that another thing is inside of any other thing, there also we have to use in. You note this down in your copy. Example I am showing you. He lives in Guwahati. Big place and spreaded place also. He lives in Guwahati. Then I will start, or I shall start. I shall start in the morning. Then he will return in the evening. He was born in January. Before month. He was born in 1990. Before year. We are in the class, inside of the class, in. Then yes, up to this, before week. He will come back in a week. He will come back in a fortnight also, we can say. So these are at and in. Now let's proceed. Next one is on. Be careful and note this down in your copy, otherwise you will forget, and practice them again and again while speaking and while writing. On we use before a particular date. January, 2nd January, 1st January, 31st December, 25th March. Before fixed date we use what? On. Before the days of week, Sunday, Monday, we use what? On. Before fixed date, on. Before days of week, on. Example, he will come here, or he will reach here on 25th June. The result of HSSLC will be declared on 25th June. and I met him on Sunday. He came here on last Monday. So before days of week and before fixed date we have to use what? On. Then on we can use at we can use on in other places also, where if we keep something on other thing, that means here I have this is my book question bank, I kept it on the table. If physical contact is there, then we have to say on. If physical contact is not there, if it is there, so we cannot say this is on the table. If it is there, then it is on the table. The book is on the table. If physical contact is not there, then we have to use other thing, over or above. So on we have understood, on is used before fixed date, on is used before days of week, and on is used when something is kept on other thing and both of them have physical contact, then on. Now if physical contact is not there, then what to use? Over or above. So simple thing is what? Two things are there here, over and using over and above. Two things are there. One is what? If the distance between the things, here the book is, if the distance is measurable, then over. If the distance is not measurable, then what? Above. One thing. If distance is measurable, then over. If distance is not measurable, then above. Okay. And another thing, if we are discussing about the height, then we have to use what? Over. If we are discussing about the level, then we have to use what? Above. First one, what I said, if something is kept on any other thing and they have physical contact, then on. Physical contact is not there, then we have to use over or above. Over if the distance is measurable, then over. If distance is not measurable, then above. Then another thing, if vertical distance is there, if vertically we are discussing about height, then over. And if horizontally we are discussing about this, then it will be what? This is known as what? Level. Then what? Above. Okay. Example for that I am telling you. The umbrella is over my head. The bridge is over the river. The bridge is over the river. And he is the boat is over the sea level. The boat is above the sea level. Or the mark is the sign. The mark is above the sea level. So if we are discussing about level, then we have to use what? Above. If we are discussing about height, then we have to use what? Over. Two things I said. If the distance is measurable, then over. If distance is not measurable, then above. Then once again, if we are discussing about height vertically, then it is what? Over. If we are discussing about level horizontally and above, that means on this level, then we have to use what? Above. The same thing, negatives way, vertically if it is, then we have to use what? Under. This way if it is vertically down, then it is what? Under. Height we are saying in negative, then it is under. And if it is horizontally level, then it will be what? Below. So over, above, and under, below. Over, opposite of over is what? Under. Opposite of above is what? Below. So vertically height, over. Level, above. Vertically height, negative sense, then under. And vertically horizontally level, negative sense, then it is what? Below. Example for that I am telling you. The cat is under the table. When a cat is there, what will say? Will we measure the level? No, we will measure the distance. Okay, height, how much depth in between the table and the cat. That's why we have to use what? Under. And if you have dived in the pond, or if you have dived in the river, then it will be what? He is under the he is below the sea level. He is below the water level of the pond. He is below the water level of the pond. So negative sense vertically level, positive sense vertically negative sense vertically below, positive sense vertically above. Negative sense by mistake I said negative sense horizontally below, negative sense positive sense horizontally above, negative sense vertically under, positive sense vertically over. So this is the difference between over and above, under and below. And on I said, if something is kept on any other thing and both of them have physical contact, then on. Then starting point 2, when we write a letter, so the person to whom we are writing, that means ending point. Ending point what? 2. I have written the letter to you. Your home is at Guwahati. So I will write to your name, Mr. X, Guwahati. And starting point from here, from here I am writing. So I will write what? From Sabbir Badarpur. That is starting point from and ending point 2. Starting point from, ending point 2. Okay. I am going to the market. That means your ending point is what? Market. I am starting from my home. Your starting point is what? Your home. So starting point from, ending point 2. Be careful. Then let's come to the fixed prepositions. Now we will discuss about some fixed preposition. See, live. With live, no, we can use 5 prepositions. L-I-V-E. Live, on, live, in, live, from, live, live on, live in, live from, live by. This another one is also live by, that I will tell. So live on, that means something, eating, feeding, food. Live on, when we will discuss about some food. The tiger lives on flesh. Live in, condition. He lives in poverty. Live on, food I said, tiger lives on flesh, cows lives on grass. Live in, condition, he lives in poverty. Live from, then whenever we will get this phrase, hand to mouth. Hand to mouth. Hand to mouth means what? That means daily earning. If somebody earns, then he had to, then only he can eat, otherwise not. This is what hand to mouth. Whenever we get this one, hand to mouth, we have to use what? Live from. Live from. So he lives from hand to mouth. He lives from hand to mouth. Then live by profession. Live by profession or doing. The poor person lives by begging. The poor person lives by begging. And another thing is there in live. If we get a preposition, if we get a phrase, bread alone, that means man cannot live dash bread alone, and here also you have to use what? By. So phrase bread alone, then we have to use what? By. Leave before preposition. If word leave is there, then we have to use by, and if we get phrase hand to mouth, then we have to use what? From. Leave from, hand to mouth, leave by, bread alone. And doing, if somebody does something and on the basis of that he leaves, then leave by. So eating something, if somebody leaves, then live on. Then condition, live in. Hand to mouth, live from. Doing, if something does something and on the basis of that he leaves, then live by, and bread alone also live by. Another one is if somebody leaves for any noble cause, that means for good reason. If somebody leaves, he doesn't want to live in this world, but he is living for some good reason. For that, what to use? Live for. That means I live for my country. So this is a good reason why I am living. I am living for my country. So I live for my country. So for good reason, if somebody lives, then we have to use what? Live for. So we got live on, we got live in, we got live by, we got live from, we got live for. So live by twice. If somebody does something and he lives on that, then we have to use live by. And if we get the phrase bread alone, then also we have to use what? Live by. Then let's proceed to die. With die we can use die of disease, die in accident, die for noble cause. Example I will tell you. Die for noble cause, die by poison or some dangerous thing. Hanging also we can use die by, and die from excess of anything. Excess of anything. Example you see, die of, he died of cancer, disease. He died of cancer. He died in the accident. He died, Mangal Pandey died for India. Mangal Pandey died for India. He died for his country. He died for his mother. Then the man or the poor man died by poison or died by hanging, and he died from overeating. He died from overwork. Excess of over of anything. Excess of anything we have to use. If somebody dies because of excess of anything, then we have to use from with die. If somebody dies with poison or some other thing, that means committing suicide, then we have to use what? Die by. If somebody dies for any noble reason, noble cause, then we have to use die for. If somebody dies in accident, then die in. If somebody dies dies because of any disease, then we have to use what? Die of. Then angry. Angry at and angry with. Angry at non-living. After angry, if any non-living thing is there, then we have to use angry at. If living is there, then angry with. Example I am telling you, my father is angry at my failure. So my father is not angry with me, my father is angry at my failure. So failure is not non-living, my failure is non-living, that's why you have used what? My father is angry at my failure. And if my father is angry with me, that means directly living thing, then my father is angry with me. Example, you have understood, you have got, I told already, angry at non-living thing and angry with living thing. Then agree. Agree to non-living, and then agree with living. So here agree on also we can use. So agree to non-living. He is agreed to my proposal. He is agreed to my proposal. Proposal is non-living, and he is agree with me. He is agreed with me. He is agree with me. He is agreed with me. So living thing. If living thing is there, then we agree with. If non-living thing is there, then agree to. We can use agree on also. He is agree on this topic. He is agree with me on this topic. With me, living thing, and this topic, he is agree with me to this topic also we can say. He is agree with me on this topic also we can say. Then angry, angry I said, then it take example of compare. Compare at and compare with. Here also non-living. If one is living, another one is non-living, then also compare at, and if it is living, then compare with. Anger is compared, compare at, not compare to. Compare to and compare with. Compare to. If non-living, then compare to. If living, then compare with. So anger is compared to fire. Anger is non-living, fire is also non-living. Anger is compared to fire, and compare with living thing. Ram is compared with Sham. Akbar is compared with Rudra Singha. So if non-living thing, then compare to. If living thing, then compare with. Example I said, anger is compared to fire, and Ram is compared with Sham. Then you write a list. Senior, junior, superior, inferior, prefer, then injurious, addicted, addict, reply, attention. With all those we have to use preposition what? To. Preposition to. So let's use them in examples. He is senior to me. He is junior to me. He is superior to me. He is inferior to me. I prefer tea to coffee. I prefer tea to coffee. Prefer and preferable, same thing. Tea is preferable. Tea is preferable to coffee. I prefer tea to coffee, or tea is preferable to coffee. Both we have to use with prefer and preferable. We have to use what? To. Then injurious. We know that this is written everywhere on the packets of gutkha, on the packets of cigarette. We find this smoking is injurious to health, injurious to addict, also to addicted to, he is addicted to wine, he is addicted to gambling. Reply, please reply to my letter. Pay attention to what your teacher says. So we have to use to with all those: senior, junior, superior, inferior, prefer, preferable, injurious, addicted, reply, attention. We have to use what? To with all of them. Example also I said once more. Let me tell you the examples. Senior, he is senior to me, or I am senior to him. He is junior to me. Superior, he is superior to me, he is inferior to me. I prefer tea to coffee, or tea is preferable to coffee. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health. He is addicted to gambling. Please reply to my letter. Pay attention to what your teacher says. So with all those, what we have to use? To. I hope you have written, you note this thing down in your copy. It will be helpful for you. Very important things. Now, see blind. Blind of and blind to. With blind we can use two prepositions. Blind of, that means real blind, and blind to, that means pretending to be, pretending he is actually not blind, but he shows that he is blind, pretending to be blind. We have to use what? Blind to. So example, you see, he is blind of one eye, he is blind of one eye, he is blind of his left eye, and he is blind to the fault of his son. He is blind to the fault of his son. That means his son commits mistake, commits faults, does faulty things, but he pretends like a blind, he cannot see all those things. So we have to use what? Blind to. Blind of, if someone is really blind, then we have to use what? Blind of. If someone is not blind, but his activities shows that he is acting like a blind, then we have to use what? Blind to. So blind of, real blind, blind to, pretending to be blind. Blind, he is blind of one eye, he is blind of his left eye, right eye. Or blind to, example, my aunt is, or he is blind to the faults of his son. I am blind to the fault of my younger brother. Okay, then made, made of and made from. Here you understand one thing. We use made of, that means made means what? To make. If we make something, and from the new thing if we get the earlier thing once again, then we have to use what? Made of. And if we cannot get the earlier thing, then we have to use what? Made from. Example, you see, leather is, shoes are made of leather. Shoes are made of leather. Then shoes are there, those are made of leather. Why we are using made of? Because if we cut the shoes, then we will get leather once more. Table is made of wood. If we break the table, then we will get what? Wood. Wood is already there, and if we cut it, then once again we will get the wood. Then that's why we have to use what? Made of. And made from, when we make a new thing from other thing, and after that if we do not get the earlier thing, then it is what? Made from. Then example, you see, paper is made from bamboos. Paper is made from bamboos. Okay, so from paper can we get bamboo once again? No, we cannot get bamboo. That's why we have to use what? Made from. If a thing is made, and from the new thing if we get the old thing once again, then there we have to use what? Made of. And if we cannot get the old thing once again, then we have to use what? Made from. Example, I said shoes are made of leather and paper is made from bamboos. Okay. Okay. Now let me write here a question bank. If you buy, then a lot of questions you will get here. From there also you can practice. I am writing some words: annoy, vex, that means vex is also annoying. Please, it is not request, please verb, please, shock, surprise, if we get these things, then we can use at or with. At for non-living thing, and with for living thing. Example I am giving you: I am annoyed at his behavior. I am annoyed at his behavior. I am vexed at his behavior. I am pleased at his behavior. I am shocked at his behavior. I am surprised at his behavior. Now I am using this one with living things. He is annoyed with me. He is vexed with his brother. He is pleased with the child. He is shocked with me. He is surprised with me. If living thing, then with these verbs we have to use what? At. If non-living thing, then with these verbs what to use? With. That means the thing before which we are using, that one, that noun or that pronoun. If it is living, then we have to use with after these verbs, and if the thing is non-living, then we have to use what? At with this verb. Now I am giving you some fixed prepositions. Those will be used only with these. You can write it: boast, B-O-A-S-T, boast, or proud, same thing. Boast and proud meaning same. Boast of, proud of. Beware of, beware of. Convict of. These are fixed, we have to use of with them. Convict of. Okay, beware. Okay. So write this: boast of, beware of, convict of. And for others also I am giving you, these are fixed. With that we have to use of. Example I am giving you: don't boast of your wealth, don't proud of your health, or don't proud of your wealth. Beware of false friends, beware of dogs. He was convicted of lying. He was convicted of lying. Then suffer. With suffer we have to use what? From. Suffer from. He is suffering from fever. He is suffering from mental issues. He is suffering from headache. Suffer from. Then warn. Against. I warned him against driving so fast. I warned him against speaking lies. So warn, against. Then I hope you are writing. You have to note these things down in your copy. It will be helpful for you, because this is very vast. Then you see deal. With deal we can use two prepositions: deal in and deal with. Deal in means business, and deal with means what? That means manner, behavior, these things. Example I am telling you: he deals in rice. He deals in rice. And deal with his dealing with customer is very good, or great book deals with big issues. Great books do not do business. Okay, it manner deals with, that means great books discusses big issues. Great book deals with big issues. He deals in rice. Easy example for that, his dealing with customer is very good. So deal in and deal with. Then once again, consist, consist, consist of. Whenever we get numbers, we have to use what? Consist of. Then consist in, except number, any other thing, that means inner value or virtue, except number. If number is there, then consist of. If except number, any other thing is there, then we have to use what? Consist in. So example, my family consists of 5 members. My family consists of 5 members. And consist in, virtue consists in speaking the truth. Virtue consists in speaking the truth. Now one more word you see, afraid. Afraid of and afraid to also we can use. Afraid to. Afraid of, that means after of, there if you get any noun, then afraid of. There if you get any verb, then afraid to. Verb means what? It will be infinity to. Sometimes it comes in exam. Before verb if we get to, then it's what? To infinitive. So afraid of, he is afraid of tiger. I am afraid of darkness. This is noun. He is afraid to do the work. To do the, he is afraid to do the work. Afraid to, that means after preposition, if verb is there, then we have to use afraid to. And after preposition, if noun is there, then we have to use what? Afraid of. Then you write hanker. After. With hanker always we use what? After. Hanker means what? To run after something. So hanker after. He hankers after money. He hankers after money. And run also. Run after. If we are running after something, then he is running after money. He is running after money. And run over also. Run over we can use. See, hanker after always. Run after meaning is hanker after, same thing. That means if we are running after something, if we are running after money, if we are running after name and fame, then he is hankering after name and fame. He is running after name and fame. He is hankering after wealth. He is running after wealth. Run over means what? Accident. That means something is abolished, demolished by any other thing. Then we have to use what? Run over. The old man was run over by a fast moving car. The old man was run over by a fast moving car. Means what? The old man was killed by a fast moving car. The old man was demolished by a fast moving car. So with hanker always after, with run we can use after on the basis of the meaning. If we are running after something, then it is run after. If something is demolished, then we have to use what? Run over. Then another word you see. I hope all of you are noting these things down. You be careful while listening to the video, while watching the video, and keep a copy with you. Note everything down in your copy. Then recover from. He is recovering from illness. He recovered from illness. He has recovered from illness. Polite to. With polite we have to use what? Polite to. You should be polite to your seniors. Taste and distaste. Taste for distaste, also for. I have a taste for chowmein, or I have a taste for music, and I have a distaste for pop music. I have a distaste for pop music. So taste for, distaste also for. Then fond of. With fond we have to use what? Of. Fond of. Fond of. I am fond of chocolates. I am fond of chocolates. I am fond of comics books. I am fond of detective books. Fond of means what? That means you want to do something so eagerly that gives you pleasure. This is what? Fond of. And in negative sense, this one is what? Addicted. So addicted to, he is addicted to gambling, he is addicted to wine. And in positive sense it becomes what? Fond. I am fond of books, I am fond of chocolates, I am fond of ice cream. So fond of and addicted to. Regard for. Regard for always. Always regard for. Regard for means what? Respect. I have regards for my teacher. I have regards for my parents. Regard for respect. I have regards for my, I have great regard for my teachers. I have great regard for my parents. So regard for. Then another one, part with. Part with and part from. Meaning of both is what? Part with and part from. Both meaning is what? Separate. Separate. To be separate. Part with also separate, part from also separate. Part with we use for non-living thing and part from we use for living thing. I cannot part with this book. I cannot part with this book. I cannot part from my parents. But presently now in modern English we can use part with both living and non-living thing. Grammatically it is said that means ancient English, and in grammar it is still there. Part with is for non-living thing. I cannot part with this book. I cannot part with my school. He parted with his school in tears. Example, he parted from his parents in tears. Part from living thing and part with non-living thing. Both meaning of part with and part from is what? To be separate. So presently we can use part with for everything, but if it comes in exam, we have to be clear that we have to use part with for non-living thing and we have to use part from for living thing. Authority. Then preside over, always. With preside we have to use what? Over. The meeting was presided over by the president, or the president presided over the meeting. Preside over. Then authority, important one. Authority in, always. He is authority in science. He is authority in science. He is an authority in science. He is authority in mathematics. He is an authority in social science. Then control over. I have full control over the class. I have full control over the class. Then I hope you have written. I am rubbing this one. Then look at means what? See. Look for, search. look after, to take care, look into, investigate. Example I am giving you. Look at, look for, look after, look into. Look at, simple see, look at the picture. Look for, search, he is looking for a job. Look after, to take care. We are to, or we should look after our parents. We should look after our aged parents. We should look after the poor. And look into, investigate. The police will look into the matter. The police will look into the matter. So look at, look for, look after, look into. Look at means what? Simply see, look for, search, look after, to take care, look into, investigate. Examples also I said you, once more I will tell you. Look at the picture, he is looking for a job. We should look after our parents, and the police will look into the matter. Other sentences also you can use yourself. Then pity, P-I-T-Y, pity for always. Whenever we get pity means what? To feel sorry. Pity for, Anil felt pity for the thief. I felt pity for the young girl. He felt pity for me. Pity always for. Then rely on. It is not reply to and rely on. Nobody can rely on a liar. We can't rely on a liar. Rely on. Sure of. With sure we have to use what? Of. These are fixed pronouns, fixed prepositions. Sure of. He is sure of success. He is sure of success. Then another one. Excel in. Excel, E-X-C-E-L. Excel in means what? Develop. My sister excels in dancing. Develop. Excel in means what? Develop. My sister excels in dancing. Okay. Boon to. Boon, B-O-O-N, boon. To, with boon we have to use to always. Babysitters are boon to parents. Babysitters are a boon to parents. Boon to means what? A place of a place or the thing on which you can rely. Babysitters are a boon to parents. That means on babysitters parents can rely. Boon to always. Then suitable for. Suitable always. Suitable for. By also for. Example I am giving you. My sister excels in dancing. Babysitters are boon to parents. It is suitable for me. I bought the pen for 5 rupees. I bought the pen for 5 rupees. Then accused of, like convicted of. Accused of, to accuse somebody for something. He was accused of theft. Accuse of always. With accuse you have to use what? Of always. Sympathy. Sympathy for. And if the word is sympathize. Sympathy for, sympathize with. Okay. He was accused of stealing the furnitures. He was accused of stealing the furniture. we all should feel sympathy for him. He was sympathized with me. He was accused of stealing furniture. We all should feel sympathy for him. I sympathized with him, or he sympathized with me. Okay, reply, I gave. Died, I gave. Dawn, I gave. Recover, sympathy, heard. Then heard of. HARD, heard of. Always. Heard of means what? Problem. He is hard of hearing. He is hard of hearing. He cannot hear properly. There we have to use what? Hard of. With hard it will be what? Hard of. Then bound. Bound for and bound to. Very important this one. Bound for and bound to. Bound for the destinations, that means journey and or the destinations. The ship is bound for London. The ship is bound for London. Destination we can say, bound for destination. The train is bound for Guwahati. And bound to comply, that means I am bound to do the work. I am bound to do the work. Compelled. Bound to means what? Compelled. I am bound to do the work. That means bound after preposition, if verb is there, then it will be what? Bound to. After preposition, if noun is there, then it will be what? Bound for. And when it is bound for, meaning is what? Destination. And when bound to, it means what? Compel. In depth. In depth to. That means you are in debt of something. I am indebted to him. In debt means what? You have borrowed something from him and then you have to return. That means when I borrowed something and then I will be indebted to him. I will be indebted to him. Then with reach in. Assam is rich in minerals. Assam is rich in minerals. Okay, this is all about preposition for today. This is all about preposition for today. I hope you have listened to my words carefully and you have noted down these things. If you have not noted down, it will be my advice to you that you take your time and note these things down in your copy and you use them in sentences while speaking also, while writing also. Then only it will become easier for you. Otherwise, no, we'll use wrong preposition in wrong places and then the meaning of the sentence will be changed fully. Then also, if you find any word where you face problem, if you do not understand, then you can write these things in the comment box. I will help you. The next topic is what? The next two topics I will discuss very shortly. That means in short I will discuss. First is what? Jumbled words. Here also I have a question bank. This one is question bank for class 10. This one is question bank for class 9. So these things you can buy. Then if you can buy, then it will be helpful for you. You can get a lot of questions here and you can solve them. If you cannot solve, then you can take help of your teachers. Then this concept will be clear to you. You can clear the concepts not only for my subject. In question banks, no questions are there for all the subjects. So you can solve your concepts from these questions. And it is very useful for English grammar. I think that it is very useful because here various types of questions are there and you will get the opportunity to solve those things yourself. And there if you face problem, then you can take help from your elders, parents or teachers. Then when you will solve this problem with the help of others, then your concept will be fully cleared. So it is better for you to buy question banks. Now, word order. This is a very simple topic where you will get words, they are not properly arranged. A sentence, we know that when a group of words makes a sentence, when a group of words make a sentence, the time when this group of words gives us a perfect meaning, gives us a clear meaning, then only it becomes a sentence. If simply we write a lot of words, then it will not become a sentence. So question will come, what? Rewrite the following sentences improving the arrangements to make it a sentence. Rewrite the following sentences improving the arrangements to make it a perfect sentence. That means arrangements are not proper, so it is not giving us a clear meaning. We have to arrange the words once again to make it a perfect sentence. Let's take two examples. With these two examples we will finish this topic. This is because this is very easy, and for the students of class 9 and 10 this is like nothing. Example here, my took umbrella is meant this who. My took umbrella is meant this who the. Is meant this who the. This we get. So we are asked to arrange the words properly to make it a perfect sentence. Here words are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words are there, but still we cannot consider it a perfect sentence. Why? Because the words are not arranged in proper manner, and as the words are not arranged in proper manner, that's why it is not giving us a clear meaning. So we cannot consider it as a perfect sentence. We have to arrange the words in perfect manner to get a perfect meaning. So what will be the answer for this? First of all, we have to understand the word meanings. My took umbrella is man this who the. So answer will be what? I hope you can this one, you have already told the answer. Then also I am showing you, this is the man who took my umbrella. You did all those things in your law classes, class 5, 6, 7. So there sentences are very easy. Here the sentences are a bit tough, but it will not be the tougher or the toughest. So here this is the proper arrangement of the words, and then after arranging the words properly we are getting a perfect meaning. This is the man who took my umbrella. My took umbrella is man this who the. So we have arranged it properly. For that also what to do? You have to practice them again and again, then it will be easier for you. We have to understand the meaning, what the sentence wants to tell us. Then after understanding the meaning, we can arrange the words very easily. Let's take another example. Stone no gathers rolling amos. Stone no gathers rolling a moss. This is a phrase, we know it. Do you know the phrase? It is given in jumbled manner. Words are not properly arranged. Do you know the phrase? I hope most of you know. I am telling you. A rolling stone gathers no moss. A rolling stone gathers no moss. This is the proper arrangement of the sentence. Do you want to practice one more? We have question bank, we have a lot of questions we can solve. Let's practice one more, then we will go to the next topic because class is becoming too long. You cannot bear it. I saw a dead cow. I saw a dead cow walking while I was in the garden. Dead cow walking while I was in the garden. So first of all, we have to understand the meanings of the words, then we have to think what will be the perfect meaning or perfect sentence for that. I saw a dead cow walking. Can a dead cow walk? No, this is not right. A dead cow cannot walk. I saw a dead cow walking while I was in the garden. So meaning will be what? Two ways we can write. I saw a dead cow while I was walking in the garden. Okay, I saw a dead cow while I was walking in the garden. Another way we can write, while I was walking in the garden, I saw a dead cow. Both are correct. While I was walking in the garden, I saw a dead cow. So this is all about word oral. This is nothing but arranging words in proper manner to get a perfect meaningful sentence. So this is very easy. You have to practice it. You buy this one. If you do not have this one in your locality, so you have to manage questions from grammar books. So in grammar books also these things are there. This topic is jumbled words are been given. Jumbled words have been given. You can practice from there also. It will be easier for you to get these books. That means question banks. Their questions are arranged properly for the students. They can practice these things properly. Then now what happens? We are coming to the last topic of our today's class. So our last topic is what? Amplification. Our last topic is what? Amplification. Amplification. We have to amplify. What is amplification? A paragraph of something or a stanza of a poem, a paragraph of a big writing of a prose or a stanza of a poem will be given to us and will be asked to amplify it. What should we do? Amplification means what? We are to express the main theme of this paragraph in our own language. Here we are not to mention from where this has been taken, from where, who is the writer of this extract, who is the poet of this stanza. All those things are useless here. We are not to mention all those things. We are to go through the stanza, or we are to go through the extract only that has been given to us. Then we are to realize the main theme of this. Amplify doesn't mean that the thing what is written here we have to write it elaborately, so many things. It is not like that. We are to understand the main theme of that. After understanding the main theme, what to do? We are to express the main theme in our own language. There it is, that means prohibited that we should not use the words from the extract or the stanza that has been given to us, but it is not strictly prohibited. That means if you think that words are not coming to you, you cannot arrange properly, you have to take help from the words that are given in the extract or that are given in the stanza, then you are free to use, but you are not to write exactly what is written here in the stanza or here in the extract. You are to understand the main theme and then you are to express your own view on the main theme. express the main theme in your own language. Here a small thing I want to tell you. To amplify, as for example, we take Rabindranath Tagore. He said something in his poem. On the context of that time, he thought something came in his mind and he has written. Now when we will be asked to amplify this extract, then what to do? What Rabindranath Tagore thought at that time, on the context of that period. Presently, I may think differently, I may understand it differently. What is thought by Rabindranath Tagore, his thinking before writing this stanza, before writing this poem, and presently my thinking and presently your thinking may be different. So I can express it in my own way, you can express it in your own way, and some other may express it in his own way. While in prose pieces, extracts are given, there also I may understand, here the first part is not there, last part is not there, simply something has been given, 2 lines, 3 lines has been given to us. Then what to do? I may understand something and I have to explain it in my own way. Basically in amplification what comes? Basically the question comes from phrases. Those have some inner meaning. From there we have to express, or we have to that means express our views on it elaborately. As for example, a sentence we got earlier, a rolling stone gathers no moss. A rolling stone gathers no moss. This sentence has been given to us for amplification. What to do? Simply we understand that a rolling stone gathers no moss. That means when a stone rolls, it gathers no moss. That means no dirt things catch up with the stone if it is rolling. This is the external meaning. Internal meaning is what? From this sentence it is said that if something is moving on it, no dirt can come. So here I may think that if a man remains busy in his activities always, if he doesn't get time to waste, if he doesn't get time to talk to the people who doesn't have any other work, then the bad thinking, bad feelings will not come in his mind. An idle brain is the workshop of devil. We know that an idle mind or idle brain is the workshop of devil. So the same thing it is, a rolling stone gathers no moss. So externally we are finding what? A stone which rolls, no dirt can catch it up. And internally what we are getting? That means moving things. If we are thinking, if you are talking about things, then it will be moving things. If you are talking about person, if a person is busy with his activities always, if he is not wasting time, if he is not spending his time with idle people, if he is not spending his time with bad people, then dirt or bad things will not come to him, will not influence his life. Another example we can take for amplification: empty vessels sound much, or empty vessel sounds much. Empty vessels sound much or empty vessel sounds much, both are okay. Means what? Externally we are getting what? If a vessel is empty, then it will sound much. If a pot is there, if it is empty, then if we heat it, then it will the sound, much sound will come, louder sound will come. If it is full of something, if something is entered in it, then if we hit it, then much sound will not come. So externally we are getting this one. Internally what we are understanding, that one we have to explain. Internally the meaning of this line is what? A person who doesn't have much knowledge, he speaks much. The person who is wise, who has knowledge about the thing, he doesn't speak much. A person who doesn't have knowledge, a person who is not a wise man, he speaks much. This is the meaning of this. We have to explain it in our own language. This is all about amplification. So for that, what to do? We have to understand the inner meaning, we have to understand the theme of it, and then we have to note it down, we have to write it down in our own way, we have to express our own thought on it. It doesn't mean that means if we go in our own way, then the meaning will change. It is not like that. What you have understood, you have to express it in your own way. One more example you see, with that we are going to conclude. A sword, a pen is mightier than a sword. So simply seeing this, we are getting what a pen is mightier, that means it is powerful than a sword. How? That means sword, to carry sword it is a bit heavy, and to carry pen it is a bit what? That means light. It is lighter than what? Sword. But if we want to kill somebody with pen, if we want to kill somebody with sword, then we cannot kill somebody so easily with a pen, but we can kill somebody so easily with a sword. So how pen has become mightier than a sword? How it is? Sword can take a life, but pen can give, or pen can save a lot of lives. That's why pen is said that it is said that pen is mightier than a sword. So a person who uses pen, that means he is a wise man, he is a man full of knowledge. Through his writings he can bring a lot of people from bad ways to the track. And without taking pen, if the same man takes sword, what will he do? He can kill him. So here in this case, in this context, we can say that a pen is powerful, more powerful than a sword, because with sword we can kill, but with pen we can protect, we can save, we can bring people on the track. So we have to explain it in our own language. There you can explain it in your own way, I can explain it in my own way, and he can explain it in his own way. So it doesn't matter. We are to construct a paragraph on the basis of this, on the basis of our own thoughts, on the basis of our own thinking, and the construction of the sentences should be correct, then we will get full marks. With that, I am going to conclude. Before that, I am to tell you, if you face any problem in preposition, in word order, and if you do not understand how to write amplification, you can write in the comment box. I will always be there to help you. With that, my class is over for today. Thank you once again.